Hello guys, it's Wednesday. We are reading through the book. It's Thursday, in fact. We are reading through the book of Galatians, and today we are reading Galatians chapter 3. Now, I'm quite a big fan of Formula One, right? That great sport where men get into these super fast cars and just cane it around the track about 50 or 60 times as fast as they can, and the person who does it the fastest wins the race and is crowned the champion. I'm a big fan of it. I like the speed, I like the technicality, I like the technology of it all. I'm a big fan, and it's really interesting to me to observe it because those cars are just super powerful. I mean, the engines in those cars are phenomenally powerful. They generate so much speed, and it's amazing to me. And the drivers are good too. The drivers are good, but ultimately, the driver's job is just to concentrate and steer, and ultimately just to allow the power of the engine to get them to the end of the race. It's not like they sit back and do nothing. They concentrate, they steer, but ultimately it's the power of the engine beneath them that gets them from the start to the finish, right? And I've watched lots of Formula One races down the years, and not once have I ever seen one of those drivers halfway through the race stop his car, jump out, and begin to push his car the rest of the way to the end of the race. Not once have I seen it. And if I did see it, I would probably think to myself, along with everybody else watching that race, that person is the stupidest, most foolish person in all the world. They're trying to finish the race in their own strength when all the time there is the power of the engine available to get them to the end of the race. Stupidity it would be, foolishness. And that's kind of what the Apostle Paul is saying to the Christians at Galatia in chapter 3. Oh, foolish Galatians, he begins. Who has bewitched you? Verse 3, are you so foolish? Having begun by the Spirit, are you now being perfected by the flesh? You see, what was happening in the church was there was teaching creeping in to the community that suggested that in order to really make it to the finish line in the Christian life, then you needed to do this, and this. And if you didn't do this, and this, well, then you're not going to make it to the finish line. If you really want to be a proper Christian and make it to the end, well, you need to be circumcised, they were saying. And the Apostle Paul comes along and he's outraged by it, and he's saying, are you so stupid? How did you begin in this race? Paul says. Did you begin by human effort and human intellect? He says, no. Your whole race was begun by the Spirit of God breathing life into your dead soul. He said, you begun by the Spirit. Why now do you feel like you have to finish by the flesh? If you've begun with the Spirit, surely the sensible thing to do is to allow the Spirit to carry you through to the end. It's a powerful challenge because I think for some reason we all have a tendency to begin to believe that my completion of this race depends on my ability to work hard and stay true and to believe well. But no, Paul's message is no. The Spirit begun the work in you, and it's the Spirit who's going to carry you through to the end. He says this in Philippians chapter 1. He says, I'm confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will see it through the completion. He says it at the end of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. He says, listen, may you be kept blameless at the day of Christ. He says, the one who called you is faithful, and he will do it. He will do it. In other words, the Spirit that begun this work in us is the one who's going to carry us through. And should we ever get to the point where we feel like it's all up to us to finish the race, well, then Paul would say, you are the most foolish person alive. Listen, God began a good work in you, and he's going to complete that work in you. Don't for a second begin to believe that God's work in you, or got the completion of God's work in you, is entirely on you. No. It's on him. He will complete the work that he's begun. Now, of course, we don't just sit back and allow it all to happen. You know, like the driver in the car, we have to concentrate, we have to focus, we have to be diligent, absolutely. But ultimately, it's the power of the engine that's carrying us. It's the power of the Spirit that is going to see us over the finish line. So rest in that today, friends. Rest in that today. He who begun a good work in you, he will complete it. Bless you.